All right, hey, what's up? It's Summer, and welcome back to my channel. I come to you today with a video based around just starting off the new year with intention, with a mindset based around healing. Now, obviously, everybody has a different mindset when it comes to what they need to heal through and what specifically is something that they're trying to move on from. But I feel like this list I have sort of written out covers a pretty broad foundation of what that umbrella could be covered under when it comes to healing and when it comes to doing that inner work for just becoming a healthier, better version of yourself. I'm going to keep it as general as possible. And I can only speak off of the things that have helped me and the things that the things that I am currently working on and implementing into my everyday life, and being gentle with myself if I don't get to those things all the time, because healing and just growing and becoming the ideal version of ourselves is not easy at all by any means. And I feel like that's why we have so many wounded people walking around on this earth and just creating havoc with their words, with their actions, because they've never really gotten the chance to heal and reach inward and figure out what's really the problem. I'll keep it there, keep it cute. We are accompanied today by Sodalite, and I'm eyeing this carnelian in the, not in the distance, it's right next to my phone, but I'm channeling this carnelian energy and Sodalite energy. So I have my list here, and we're just going to go down the bullet points, and I'm going to try and keep it as short and sweet as possible. But I will expand on certain things just to make sure I'm getting my point across and explaining things that should be explained. So I put it as a year of healing inside and out, or outside going in, because everyone has their own way of doing things. I feel like intentionally working on yourself takes a lot of courage and takes a lot of just strength and resilience, and you are really faced with who you are, like beyond people's perception of you, beyond your family's perception of you, beyond who you thought you were a few years ago. It's really just like stripping everything down and getting straight into it. And that brings me to the first bullet point, which is journaling. And for me, I journal and I incorporate that with shadow work. Me and my friend are currently trying to follow this. It's a Twitter thread, but there's literally shadow work prompts all over Pinterest. They have them like laid out, for the entire month. The one that we're following updates each day, so we get them as the days come. But they basically lay out questions that make you think about life, about yourself. I can read you guys one of them so you sort of get an idea of what I'm talking about. So this is my journal for my shadow work and journaling just for this year. I really want to fill it up because I tend to not fill up any of my journals or sketchbooks, so I really don't want to waste paper that much. So let me just find. Okay, so the first thing I opened to was, so they a few days ago provided us with a prompt based off of forgiving ourselves. So they said to write a letter of forgiveness to yourself about what you haven't made peace with in the past, mistakes you might have made, times you might have gone against your best judgment, things of that nature. So I wrote a letter of forgiveness to myself, and a lot of the times these things are very emotionally triggering. They can't feel, or you can't see, but they get the sacral and they get the solar plexus going and buzzing a lot of the time, which is good because that's where the lower sectors of our body is where we keep a lot of our emotional wounds, a lot of our just blockages when it comes to things that we need to address, and we sort of just shelf it away. That's what our brain does to protect us. So that's why shadow work is super healing and super powerful, because you're intentionally digging through the files of your brain and just trying to go like, okay, so where's this trauma rooted from? Why am I such a people pleaser? Why do I feel like I don't deserve certain things? And it's just really real. And People don't talk about that enough. I was actually having this conversation earlier about like the spiritual community, whatever you might see that as. A lot of people just talk about love and light, and they don't talk about the path that you have to go through to get to that light, which is a lot of darkness and ugliness. And it's not necessarily changing all the negatives or the bads about yourself. It's about meeting them face to face and debunking what has cultivated this to be a part of you. And if you don't like it and you don't want to identify with that part of yourself and claim that into your life, into your future, shadow work is there to help you detach from that and help you work through that. So it's less on a pedestal, or it's less like out of reach, you know, because we are creatures of survival, emotional survival, traumatic survival. Our brains do all the work to keep us safe from those experiences, from those feelings. But it doesn't always mean that that's healthy, you know? So that also goes into what I have written down here, which is about going to therapy. I am currently trying to, you know, set up an appointment with my nearby clinic and see like how I can get myself a therapist, because I really feel like, thank God for social media. Thank God for, you know, influencers who are young and who take their mental health seriously and spread that message to people who are younger. Like, this generation is doing amazing when it comes to understanding the importance of taking care of your head and your mental state. I remember being younger, like, you would hear people say that like an insult, like, oh honey, you need a therapist, like, oh, you need a psychiatrist, like. But as you get older, it's just like, no, like, I want to be my best self, and I want to treat the people around me the best that I possibly can. And I want to make sure that I work through whatever wounds, whatever triggers, whatever traumas from the past could be holding me back from that. So yes. And then there's other things like healing and growing and becoming your authentic self. We all have things that we love to do. We all have things that bring us joy, bring us happiness, that we identify ourselves in these things. And for me, like, I wrote building skills or working on creative projects that make you feel good about yourself and about life. And I am a very creative person. I like to do a lot of fluid art. I have it like all around me, so I'm looking around it right now. But I love to just like make paintings, and I am working on creating a good amount of paintings. I'm going to be putting back, this is such, and like, I was not trying to go here, but I'm just going to say it because it's my channel and no one's going to promote me if I don't promote me. So I do have an Instagram account at Summer Jasmine with a Z, no E at the end. I am working on a big batch of fluid art creations that I'm going to be posting on that page very soon. I am trying to grow my audience and get a bigger outreach to people who would be interested in what I make. But I also just love to make this stuff. Like, everything around me in my room that I've just created because I love it, and I love like how unpredictable the outcome can be of fluid art. So that's a skill that I'm working on. I'm also working on just reading a lot more, which also goes into a bullet point I have about reading wellness and self-help books, because it's not necessary. I feel like if you have a choice between therapy and a self-help book, you better choose therapy, because that really is so specific to you and your life and your, you know, your issues and problems and challenges and stuff like that. But there is a lot of beautiful literature out there, and I have these three that are in the progress of being read. I finished these two, so I'm just going to go from the top to bottom. So Deepak Chopra, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, very good. A practical guide to the fulfillment of your dreams. I need to reread this. I read this in the summer of 2020, but it was super good, and it's not a long read at all. It's very like straight to the point, but it's just very beautiful, and it really does aid in personal growth if it is applied. And, you know, like, if things resonate, definitely take it with you. I feel like I got this at Barnes & Noble, actually. So if there's a way you can find a like mom and pop bookshop near you wherever you are, or maybe go on Amazon and get like a used version for a lot cheaper from someone else, that would probably be best. So you're saving money and you're not like supporting huge companies. And I have this book called It's Within You. So this one is a little bit more of an interactive book. has a lot, you know, a lot of lessons and wisdom in it. But at the end of each chapter, I believe they give you a prompt, or they give you like some homework to do based off of what the chapter was about. And it gives you a chance to reflect. So it's kind of along the lines of the shadow work prompts that I'm doing in my journal, but these are like, they're a little less heavy, but they are very helpful. And some of these really had me like, ooh, you know, like, where does this come from? Like, why do I do that? You know, I have definitely bookmarked a good amount. So honestly, like, I might go through some of these books and make some videos based on the bookmarks, based on just each book and like why certain things applied. But we'll see. I don't know how personal I want to get on this channel, because you'll never know who's really watching you, but like, it's what happens when you put yourself on the internet. So at a certain point, it's just like, I'm trying to like put this out there because I know that there's people who don't even know where to start. They don't even know how to get back up, like, from 2020, because that year was challenging for literally everybody. Everyone's life is different now. Like, everyone has been affected by that. So I know that like it's kind of daunting to see like we're in a new year, yes, and it's a new chance for new beginnings, but you know, last year did happen and people are still dealing with that. So I feel like these books can be a good refuge and a good just space to really give yourself the time and give yourself the love that you deserve to really understand what's going on inside here and in here. So yes, these two are great. And this next one I am still in the process of reading. It's a little bit thicker. It's Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I got this because I love Jhené Aiko, and she had this book on her story, and I think I saw it on a few other people's stories, and I just decided to get it. I got it at Barnes & Noble, but I was browsing through it with my friend, and I was like, dude, they got like charts that are dedicated to like breaking down like gamma brainwaves from the breath and like how that can like recalibrate your brain and your thinking and there's literally like so many studies in this book that's backed up by science, but it's combined with spirituality, and it's really informative. And it's just like, there's so many meditations. This book has like a meditation for each chapter, and they all do different things, and it's just all about just rewiring your brain to form habits and to form practices that can literally heal you from the inside out, like scientifically, obviously with practice and time. But when you are aware and you are like mindful and here with this stuff in here, it's beautiful. So these are the books that I recommend when it comes to spiritual self-help and things of that nature. They're all available online. That's where I got all of them. So yes, wellness practices are next. And with me lately, I've just been trying to be as intuitive with this stuff as I can possibly be, because there have definitely been times where I've been way too structured and it's turned into like a robotic situation where I'm just like doing yoga or sitting there breathing and not really like in the experience. You know, I'm just like, okay, well, I have to do this. Like, I need to do this to let myself. But it very much helps when you mix things up a little bit. So I do yoga sometimes, I meditate sometimes. And I feel like those things are very like good to have going, whether it's one or the other, especially since we are all supposed to still be in quarantine. It's good to work your body out in one way or another, or work your, well, it depends on the kind of meditation you do, because a lot of people don't like to work their brains out during meditation. With mindfulness meditation, like, you're kind of doing that, but it's just being mindful of yourself and of your breath and of the moment and of how you're feeling, and to let thoughts come as they go, or come as they come and let them go, you know, which I do need to do more of, because lately, like, yes, thought loops are weird. But yes, I highly recommend Yoga with Adriene on YouTube. She has so many different series, so many different spans of videos, like 10-minute, 20-minute, 30, 45-minute practices. And I started off with her with the 30-day yoga challenge that it was a few years ago when that one was released, but I believe that was that's like the most popular one. And then you know, after you do that, it just really feels so great to know that you like can commit to working yourself out and connecting with yourself and showing up for yourself in a way where it's like you see and you feel the changes as it's happening. Like after each practice, you notice something else you can do, and it's very beautiful. And I'm not a huge working out kind of person, so yoga is definitely something that is like that perfect medium for me. But yes, and the next thing, when it comes to people we surround ourselves with, that's a huge deal. That's a huge, variable and subject to make sure that you have healthy, and just a sector, that's the word. It's a huge section in our life that can really make or break our mental state, depending on like the kind of person we are, depending on the kinds of, love languages that we carry. And it's just, I was actually also having this conversation earlier today, like last year really did a lot of the work for me of just like taking people out of my life and removing and distancing people from me without me having to do much of the work. Like, but it's just really honestly very important to have a good circle of friends, a good support system around you that uplifts you with words of love and affirmation, and they make you feel validated in everything that you're feeling and wanting to do for yourself. And I know not everybody has that. So if you do not have that, feel free to reach out to me, because I'm here and you have me, and I'm putting myself out there to, be there for the people who don't have that tangibly in their life. Because thank God we live in a digital age when all this crap is happening, and we feel so much less alone than we would if it was happening in 2004 or something. So thank God for Zoom, because like I've met so many cool new people today on just like a book club meeting, and we were talking about Oprah's book, What I Know for Sure, which is also a good book, and I really recommend it. It's very inspirational. There's a lot of good stuff in there. But yeah, there's not really much we can do when it comes to our family, but when it comes to a chosen family and your circle of people on the outside, it's very important that you take a minute and sort of just understand what you guys' intention is in each other's lives, because it's just super important to have healthy friendships. I'll leave it there. And just remember your strength. Remember who you are. You are God's child. Whoever God is to you, you are alive, and you are a miracle for being alive and for being here. And after the year that we've had, the fact that you're interested in some girl reading notes off of a napkin about improving yourself on this earth, like, give yourself a round of applause, because we all made it here. And last year really, like, it caused for me personally, like, this new layer of skin was shed. Like, I never thought I would cut my hair this short ever, like, or bleach it again, or, like, really just come to terms with who I am and who I'm becoming and who I want to become, because it's so important that we know what we're going towards, like what this is all for, So I'm gonna leave it on that note. If you want to reach out to me, my Instagram is @SummerJasmine. Like I said, SUMMERJAZMIN. But before we go, I would like to pull an oracle for this upcoming week. I plan on uploading again before we get to the middle of January. My birthday is actually Monday, so I'm probably not going to upload on that day, but we'll see. I also want to show you guys the card that I picked. So lately I've been doing these daily pick a cards for my oracle deck, because I just feel like they're so beautiful and soft and gentle and exactly what I need, because the shadow work can get intense. So I got this card that basically resembles, first of all, look at that art. That's freaking beautiful. Sacred reverence. It resembles understanding that God is divine in so many ways, more than what we see, and to be open to receiving God and creative energy and energy of just expression, and that good, solar plexus energy from everywhere. Like, don't only look for it in what you feel comfortable in looking for it from, because you got it from there before, you know what I mean? Like, feel free to go on Pinterest and like look at random things because you want to be inspired to make a painting or something or anything, or take a picture or decorate your room a certain way, make a song, make music. Like, there's so many sources and so many ways that we can receive divinity, and it's just really it's a beautiful message, and I'm so glad that I got this deck. I got it off of Amazon because I'm not really going out and like going to spiritual shops right now because, you know, panorama. But I will shuffle this right now and pull a card for us to focus on for the next week. So up until next Friday. What do we need to focus on for this upcoming week? And I love that these cards are like bigger than tarot cards. Like, I don't know. I feel like I love that. I don't know why. I also have big hands and long fingers, so it's just more, I don't know, it fits nicer for me. But yes. So we're just going to go for one card. Okay. Ooh. So this is interesting. So this one is Smoke and Mirrors. Give you a second to take a look in that. Look at that. The art on this deck is beautiful. So I am going to give a disclaimer. Like, I refer to the book for everything. When I'm doing my tarot readings, I am in no way, shape, or form a professional tarot reader, intuitive. I'm just, you know, your standard intuitive person trying to exercise that for myself. So we got number 42. So let's see what that resembles in the book. And I love this book because it gives so much information. It gives you examples and it gives you key concepts. So this is this is pretty good. Okay, so the key concepts for Smoke and Mirrors is seeing through the lens of past conditioning, the inability to recognize the truth of what is being offered, healing from misguided perceptions, moving beyond the illusion of separation, being accountable for your biases and the way that you view the world. So this is probably like the most shadow worky card I've pulled since I've had this deck, which has been about like 5 days. And seeing through the lens of past conditioning. Literally, I feel like that was my whole theme of last year, and I'm definitely carrying that into this year because we have so much conditioning. And that's why that Dr. Joe Dispenza book, the freaking Becoming Supernatural, it's just really eye-opening. And healing from misguided perceptions, moving beyond the illusion of separation, being accountable for your biases and the way you view the world. That is heavy shadow work energy, but it's not a heavy card. It's just like kind of like just a reality check, because I feel like oracles can sometimes offer the energy of like escapism, you know what I mean? Or it can trigger the energy of escapism in people, because like it's known that tarot is like, this is how it is whether you like it or not, and oracle is like, oh, don't worry, but everything's still gonna be okay, just focus on these things, you know? But I value both of them very equally, and I respect them both very equally. So that was the card, and I very much am grateful for you guys being here and spending 23 minutes with me, and I will let you go. More videos coming soon, and I hope everyone's having a great new year. Keep your head up. It's a lot of chaotic energy out there in the world right now, but we are only able to control and harness and heal our own very much, you know, like everyone out there is just, there's a lot of projection, so let's just do our best to keep it responsive, not reactive, and receptive. I love you guys. Bye.